Welcome back, everybody. Today's video is going to be a big one because we are swapping the motor in this Gen 1 Montero. Now, this isn't mine. This is a buddy of mine. This is the four-door version, kind of a bigger version of the little blue Montero. And earlier this winter, when it was like -40, he thinks he spun a rod bearing. It makes a terrible sound when you try to start it up. So he's purchased a new motor, or a freshly rebuilt one, and we're going to go through the process of swapping this. And I'm going to take you guys along in that. So I've pulled a couple of motors on these. I've rebuilt a couple of motors, not this exact one, but on Monteros. So I'm going to walk you guys a little bit through the process. My hope is to make a guide so that if you're doing this yourself or you're considering doing major engine work, you can have an idea of what you're getting into. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a list. All motors are pretty much the same when you pull them as far as what you take off. So we're going to make a list. We're going to start pulling the easier parts off and then dive into it. The goal at the end of this video is to have this motor sitting on a stand next to this motor. So let's get into it. All right, here's our list to start off. I'm sure that I'm forgetting some things, but these are the general things you need when pulling a motor. So we got motor mounts, bell housing, intake and exhaust, your heater core, the AC, power steering, and alternator. We're going to leave all three of those in the car, but we're going to try not to disconnect the lines. You got the radiator and the coolant, fuel, throttle, and we're going to drain the oil. Few details about this car. So this is the 3-liter V6 that came on the 4-door, and it's a manual transmission. So personally, I think it's easier to change a manual transmission. You don't have to drain the cooler lines that go through the radiator, as well as you don't have to mess with the torque converter. You do have to do a clutch and that kind of thing, which we have all those parts right here that we're going to go on. That'll be the second video of me actually building this motor, but getting it out fairly straightforward. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start pulling off the big parts. We're going to pull the hood off so that I can get this thing out really easily and see better. We're going to start pulling the big parts off, draining all the fluids, and getting into some of the more fiddly and harder to get to things. So you just saw me pull the radiator and the fan off. That's just 4 bolts over there, 4 bolts holding that on. So that's out. Now I'm moving on to the accessories, and I have released the tension on the AC as well as the fan. And so those are right here, and that's gonna be the alternator as well. So that's a 14 mil here, 14 mil there. Same situation here. There's a 14 and a 14. That releases that. When you're pulling the AC compressor off, I'm just gonna set this aside. You can take these bolts loose, but this one doesn't actually come out here in the back. It hits that line. And so if you're gonna leave that in there, you gotta just pull it out, and then it's just gonna hit that line, but that's okay because you can pull the whole thing out. So now I'm gonna pull that out, pull it to the side here, and either zip tie or bungee cord out of the way so that I can get to the rest of the accessories. All right, so now I've gotten into the wiring harness and I'm starting to pull these off, and there's all sorts of different connectors on here. The nice thing about this is it looks to me like this is only going to be able to go back really in one spot. There's a couple connectors that look similar, and so that might be interesting to figure out later, but they kind of lay themselves out over the motor. The right thing to do would be to label these if you're taking it apart. I'm just kind of hoping that it's going to work out. There's a couple things here, like this brown one, black one, and this other brown one. You can see they all plug into here for different sensors, I'm assuming, or different grounds and resistors. And those are all labeled in the like color. So those will go well together. Got the ignition right here, or sorry, the injectors taken off. Got the alternator stripped down. So I'm going to keep pulling stuff off of this. I'm gonna see if I can leave the intake on when I pull it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll get into that. I'm just gonna keep paring down the motor until I can get to a point where I feel like I can pull it. So next is probably gonna be this alternator, keep working on the accessory drives, and we'll see where we get. Okay, we're making great progress here. Got the throttle disconnected. I got the heater core hoses disconnected, and I got all the electrical connections over here disconnected. So we're gonna move on to fuel and get that uncoupled. It looks like here, this is the return line, and that's just gonna be held on by a hose clamp. That one I'm actually gonna have to split the line, but that's no big deal. So this is a good time to reconsult our list and just see where we're going here. So let's see, heater core, good. AC, good. Power steering is still on there. Alternator, is disconnected, so I can cut that one off. Radiator's taken off. Radiator, sorry. Throttle cable's taken off. Oil is still in there. Starter and grounds I haven't done yet. There's also some vacuum lines that I've taken off. There was one over here for the evap solenoid, so this goes over here, and then the brake booster comes from here and goes to that side of that nipple of the intake right there. There's some crusty vacuum lines on here, so I might encourage this guy to replace all these vacuum lines while I'm in there. So I got to figure out how to take the power steering off still. I don't know how to get that belt off. I might just cut it, honestly, right now. It might be, well, I'm not 100% sure how to do it, so I got to figure that out. And then I'll disconnect the fuel, and then I got to go onto the hard parts down there: motor mounts, exhaust, and bell housing. Sweet, I got that out. So it turns out there's a bolt. If you turn this, which means you have to turn the crank, you got to turn this, and then there's a bolt right here. And that bolt that you can barely see that goes through the back of this slides on a little channel back here. And so that's how you set the tension. So I'll have to figure out how to set that tension when I put it back together. But you loosen up that bolt and the whole pump can rotate kind of in and out like that. So that's how you get the tension off of it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to disconnect this whole pump from the block here, set it aside, that way we don't lose any of this power steering fluid, and then that'll be that sorted. So over here I've got the oil cooler lines, and I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect that from here. I think this fitting is gonna be easier to reattach and less work than doing it down there. So I'm gonna get on here. Hopefully these don't fight me too bad. And then I've got the grounds. Now I can see two grounds, and I like to disconnect these from the block side. So one of them is right there, right behind the power steering, right behind the oil cooler lines. There's one right there. And then there's another one right here on this side, right next to the AC. It's pretty hard to see down in there, but this is it, and it goes right to the block. So I gotta do those two. I think those are the only two. And then the other thing I did is the oil pressure sensor. Don't forget to connect this, otherwise you'll start the car up and you'll panic when you realize that you have no oil pressure, only to figure out it's this thing. So I'm gonna get to those grounds, gonna pull this off, and then I have to get back in. I have to get into the bottom side of the motor. I gotta take out the hard parts. So let's get into it. All right, and now I've got these disconnected. These fought me a little bit. Hopefully they aren't too bad to put back on, but those guys are off. For the oil cooler, you can see where the ground came out right there. That guy right there is where this ground was. And on this side, same thing. That ground came off of right back here. So those two grounds are off. Here's an interesting thing. This car came to me with a disconnected motor mount. Now that's not because the previous owner did any work on it, it's just because that rattled itself loose. So that one is totally loose already. It's just two bolts bolting into the cross member, and then this one's got two bolts. So before I get underneath the car, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this side so that it's loose, and then we'll get to the bell housing bolts and the starter, and with any luck, I'll have this thing pulled by midnight, and we'll have it sitting on a stand. So, fun fact about this motor, it only had one bolt holding the motor mount on. So I guess these rattled loose. I can't imagine how much this thing was shaking. That one was completely loose, and I was feeling around trying to find the other one. Eventually got my eyes down there and realized it was not even in there. So I dug out some of the exhaust manifold shielding to see if I could get at it, and turns out I didn't have to. So that leaves pretty much just the bell housing. Now, I will admit to you guys, I hate doing bell housings. It's annoying. There's never enough room. This one looks like it's not going to be that bad. The best frame of reference I have, since I've never done this before, is actually to look at the back of the new motor. And so if you look here, you can kind of see I've got a few things stuck in here for this. But I can see at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. And then there's going to be some on the pan. But that's going to be what I'm looking for. So I'm going to try to get these two from the top. Then I'm going to put the car up in the air, and I'm going to try to get the exhaust bolts off and leave the manifolds on if I can. I think there's enough room. I know there's enough room to pull it with the manifolds on. as well as those bottom bell housing bolts, and yeah, see how much of a pain that's going to be. But the first ones are down here or around here, and they're going to be right up on the back of the cover. So I need to get I think it looks like a 17 or a 19 in there, and weasel those out of there. All right, now I'm underneath the car on the passenger side. I'm gonna take out this starter. So I got a bolt here and a bolt here, and that should drop the starter out of the way. I'll try to zip tie it up. As well as I'm gonna take the exhaust off. Looks like these are all gonna be 14s. I'm gonna take that off, as well as up there, hard to see with the light. Those look like they're gonna be 17s, and they're gonna be pretty crusty. And then I forgot about the slave cylinder over here. Those are also gonna be 14s. So I'm gonna try to whiz all those off, and then see if I can find the rest of these bell housing bolts. All right, well, this is going way smoother than I thought. So I've done the exhaust. I did these two down here, as well as the ones up at the manifold on both sides. Turns out they're 19s. Got the 14s off for the slave cylinder here. There was one bell housing bolt going in here, and then there were the two starter ones, and then there was another one going in right here. However, that's it on this bottom side. So I've got that bolt up there, that's a 17, and it's hard to see, but there's another one right up there, right there. Got those two, and then this motor should come apart. So I'm gonna take those off, get on the top side, get it hooked up to the engine hoist, and see if we can't separate the engine and the transmission. All right, with those two bolts removed, that one and that one, I can already see that the bell housing and the transmission are starting to separate, so we should be good to go. I'm gonna drop this thing back on the ground, get it positioned underneath the lift, and see if we can't pull this out. All right, so I got this thing all rigged up. I've got my Harbor Freight hoist here with a pulley on it. So it's got a snatch block, and I'm gonna try to pull this thing out. Now, over here, I've got a legitimate mount for the motor, and I'm gonna hopefully sneak that past the distributor, although I do have another one of those. Over to here, and then not really sure where the best lifting point is over here. So I went to this bracket because it's pretty solid. Hopefully that doesn't put too much weight on the nose of the motor, and we're able to get it up and out. But we're not gonna be lifting it for too long like this, so hopefully it's gonna come off. I can already see that the bell housing is starting to separate, so fingers crossed this just pulls out and up, and we get it out onto the stand tonight. And here it is, the motor is officially out. I am covered in grease, I'm bleeding from a couple places, but this was actually pretty painless. So this is the whole motor out. Notice what I left on. I left the alternator on after disconnecting the leads. I left the oil filter on and some of the hoses, the motor mounts, the exhaust manifolds, the entire intake. I did end up going off of these front mounts, and that was too much. It slid the motor too far backwards, so the nose was up high. This is a good trick if you are in a pinch like this, is put a ratchet strap in between the back of the motor and the lifting point, and you're able to level it out a little bit. Make sure it's a good rated ratchet strap. This one can hold 400 pounds, so it's not ideal, but it did the trick here. Now, it's late tonight, so I am not going to end up putting this on the stand, I don't think. I'm going to leave it as is, let it sit, and do the clutch and all of that tomorrow. So, but I'm really stoked to have this out. Just for future reference, it took me 2 hours to pull this. Now, I have pulled a couple motors, I've done a couple of this, but I've never done this one. So 2 hours, and that's with filming things, not bad at all. Now, the next process is going to be moving all those parts onto this block. Involves cleaning that, inspecting it, moving the new parts over here, and figuring out what we want to use, as well as ordering up some other parts. There's a crack in the exhaust manifold over here that we're going to have to address. So that's going to come in another video, but hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you're thinking about pulling a motor yourself, if you're looking to get into this, and I hope you guys join me as I make this motor turn into that motor, and then another video where we put that motor back in that car. We'll see you on the next one.